Welcome back to another day of growth. Today is day 4 of your 14-day challenge. Yesterday, I introduced you to the add method, the principle of adding beneficial disciplines and goals to your life as the means of driving out negative behaviors and habits that cause you to get stuck. You also took the 4-pillar assessment and you got clear on your current reality. You gave yourself a score and then you were honest about the reason as to why you scored yourself the way that you did. In other words, you took ownership. Good job, my friend. Today, you're going to decide. You're going to get clear on what the cost will be to your life if you do not go all in on becoming a fully engaged man, along with getting clear on what you want and why you want it. So let's get started. A little over 15 years ago, I entered into my first ever mentoring and coaching program. I'll never forget the day that my coach, Byron Davis, he came to me and he asked me, "Jade, what kind of man do you want to be?" And I remember being struck by the question. He was requiring me to assess my current situation. He didn't ask me what I wanted to do as a career or what I wanted to own. This question was different. He was asking me how I wanted to show up in the world. What kind of man I wanted to be was different than what I wanted to possess in life. This question required that I evaluate my character, my integrity, my reputation, and most of all, my behavior. Byron knew that if I focused on the kind of man I wanted to show up as, then all the things that I wanted in life, as far as career and stuff, these things would have more meaning and purpose if I had my identity right. If I were to guess, based on my years of experience, I would be willing to bet that you have never really sat down, written out, and gotten completely honest with yourself about how you're currently showing up in the world, and then evaluated if that's how you actually want to show up. I'd be willing to bet that you probably have never really sat down and gotten completely clear about what you want in life and what kind of man you want to be. Instead of being proactive about life, I'd be willing to bet that way too often you fall victim to just reacting to life. The reason I'm willing to bet is because that was me. I was that guy. I'd also be willing to bet that you have never really sat down and deeply reflected on what your life would look like in 5, 10, or even 20 years from now if you choose to live as a victim of circumstances, always having excuses and always accepting mediocrity and complacency. If you have given deep thought and written reflection on these things, then amen. That means that you're way ahead of the game. But based on what I've seen over the years, that's just not the norm. It's a good thing for you to get clear on what you do not want out of life, because doing so is going to help you create clarity for what you do want in life. There's this interesting story in the scriptures where Jesus challenges some of his earliest followers to get clear themselves. There's 2 men that have been students of a Jewish teacher named John, commonly known as John the Baptist. One day, while walking along the banks of the Jordan River, these 2 men, they see Jesus and they start following him as he just walks along the road. In discovering that these 2 men, they were shadowing him, Jesus turns around and he asks them, he says, "What do you want?" In some translations, it says, "What are you looking for?" As a spiritual leader, Jesus knew that in asking this question, he was getting to the heart of their desires. He gives them an opportunity to get clear and begin a new journey with a new mindset and a defined purpose about what kind of man each of them wanted to be and what it was that they were actually looking for. So now it's your turn. Below, you're going to work through some very important questions as a part of today's challenge. Take your time and you got to put some effort into these questions. I look forward to how this is going to spark something new in your life. So I'll see you back here tomorrow as we dive into Declare. Godspeed.